History is written by the victors. It's a comforting narrative, a tapestry woven with threads of triumph and progress. But what about the threads left unwoven, the ones stained with such darkness, such unimaginable cruelty, that they make horror movies look soft? Buried in the margins of our history books are events so horrific, so deeply unsettling, that they're often ignored entirely. These are the stories of those who were silenced, those whose suffering was brushed aside. These are the 5 moments in human history that most schools will never talk about. Deep within the heart of Africa, a darkness descended upon the Congo. Under the rule of King Leopold II of Belgium, a regime of unimaginable brutality took hold. This wasn't colonization, this was an extraction, a plundering of resources that cost human life on a scale seldom seen in history. Imagine a land where the lush rainforest echoed not with the calls of exotic birds, but with the screams of the tortured. Where the scent of rubber, so valuable to the industries of the world, carried with it the stench of death. Over 10 million Congolese men, women and children were slaughtered, mutilated or worked to death. Their crime? Failing to meet the insatiable quotas for rubber demanded by Leopold's agents. The world recoiled in horror at the atrocities committed in Nazi concentration camps. But in the shadows of World War II, another nightmare unfolded, one orchestrated by the Imperial Japanese Army. This was Unit 731, a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit operating under a veil of secrecy. Within its walls, human beings were reduced to mere test subjects, their lives deemed worthless, their suffering of no consequence. Vivisection on living prisoners, pregnant women and children were commonplace. Deadly diseases were injected into human guinea pigs, their agonizing deaths meticulously recorded. Frostbite experiments left victims with blackened, gangrenous limbs. And in a final act of moral bankruptcy, the doctors responsible for these horrors were granted immunity by the United States in exchange for their grotesque research. Chapter 3. The Partition of India, a line drawn in blood. In 1947, as the British Empire crumbled, a decision was made that would cleave a nation in two and unleash unimaginable horrors. The Partition of India, the birth of Pakistan, was meant to be a clean break. It became a bloodbath. Overnight, millions found themselves on the wrong side of a hastily drawn border, a line etched onto maps by a British lawyer who had never even set foot in India. What followed was one of the largest mass migrations in human history, a chaotic exodus of Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs, fueled by fear and ancient hatreds, now stoked to a fever pitch. Neighbors turned on neighbors, villages were set ablaze, and the cries of the dying filled the air. Over 1 million souls perished in the violence. Chapter 4. The Great Chinese Famine, a silence more deadly than words. In the late 1950s, under the banner of progress, Chairman Mao Zedong launched the Great Leap Forward, a utopian vision to transform China into an industrial powerhouse. Instead, he unleashed a famine of biblical proportions, driven by misguided policies and a campaign of terror that silenced any dissent. China's agricultural system collapsed. The result was a man-made catastrophe. Between 1959 and 1961, an estimated 30 million men, women and children starved to death. Families were torn apart, driven to desperate measures to survive. Reports of cannibalism, while often exaggerated, reflected the grim reality of the time. And yet, for years, the Chinese government remained silent, the true scale of the suffering hidden from the world. Chapter 5. Rwanda, the world turned away. In the heart of Africa, a genocide unfolded, swift and merciless, a testament to the depths of human depravity. In just 100 days, nearly 1 million Rwandans, mostly Tutsis, were slaughtered by their Hutu neighbors. Armed with machetes and driven by a tide of hatred, fueled by years of ethnic tensions and a campaign of dehumanization, the killers moved from village to village, leaving a trail of blood in their wake. The world watched and did nothing. The United Nations, paralyzed by inaction and political maneuvering, failed to intervene. The killing continued day after day, the screams of the dying echoing unanswered. Rwanda stands as a chilling reminder of our collective failure, a stark warning that indifference can be as deadly as any weapon. Otro, remember, so it does not happen again. These aren't just stories, they're warnings. Humanity has a dark side, and pretending it didn't happen just ensures it happens again. We must acknowledge these horrors, learn from them, and vow to never let them happen again. If we bury the truth, we bury our own humanity. We must shine a light on the darkest corners of our past, not to wallow in guilt, but to ensure that such atrocities are never repeated. If you want part 2, please like and subscribe. We're not sugarcoating history here.